Aristotle was born around 384 BC in ancient Greece and grew up to be one of the most influential philosophers of all time. He earned many modest nicknames, such as the Master and simply the Philosopher. Aristotle's journey to fame began when he took on the role of tutor to none other than Alexander the Great, who would go on to conquer much of the known world. After Alexander's rise, Aristotle moved on to Athens, where he worked with Plato for a period before branching out on his own. In Athens, Aristotle founded his own school, the Lyceum, which would go on to influence many thinkers for centuries to come. Even today, many secondary schools in France are named in honor of his venture. During his time at the Lyceum, Aristotle developed a unique approach to teaching. He enjoyed walking around as he lectured and discussed his ideas, which is why his followers were known as the Peripatetics, the term peripatetic literally meaning the wanderers. Aristotle's many works are actually lecture notes, which reveal his deep fascination with the natural world and human life. He explored how everything in nature functions, from how a chick grows in an egg, to how squid reproduce, to what makes plants thrive in one place but hardly grow in another. But perhaps most importantly, he asked the biggest questions about what makes human life and a whole society go well. For Aristotle, philosophy was not a mere academic exercise. It was a quest for practical wisdom that could improve people's everyday lives. One of Aristotle's most famous works is the Nicomachean Ethics, a book he dedicated to his son, Nicomachus. The book's central task was to explore what makes people happy and how to live a fulfilling life. Aristotle identified what he called virtue as being the key to happiness. He argued that successful people possess certain virtues, which can be cultivated through practice and habit. He encouraged people to identify and nurture these virtues, both in themselves and in others. Aristotle focused on 11 specific virtues, including courage, temperance, liberality, magnificence, magnanimity, pride, patience, truthfulness, and modesty. But Aristotle didn't stop there. He noticed that each of these virtues occupies a golden mean between two extremes. For example, courage is the virtue between cowardice, the extreme of fearfulness, and recklessness, the extreme of foolhardiness. Similarly, temperance lies between self-indulgence and insensitivity to pleasure. Aristotle famously illustrated this concept using everyday examples, such as conversation. A person who knows how to converse well is striking a balance between being overly talkative, the bore, and being excessively quiet, the buffoon. The key, according to Aristotle, is to find balance between excess and deficiency. Aristotle made it clear that achieving moral goodness requires more than just understanding what is right. It takes practice, habit, and a good education. Instead of harsh punishment or scolding, Aristotle believed that the goal should be better teachers and more guidance. Through consistent effort and guidance, a person can improve their moral character. Another area where Aristotle's influence still resonates is in the realm of art, particularly tragedy. During his time, the Greeks had a deep appreciation for tragedy, a form of drama in which the main character undergoes a dramatic downfall. Aristotle's Poetics, a work dedicated to the art of tragedy, provided detailed instructions for writing great plays. He introduced two key concepts in this work, peripeteia and anagnorisis. Peripeteia refers to a sudden change of fortune, where a character's life takes a sharp turn from good to bad. Anagnorisis is the moment of dramatic revelation, when the hero comes to the realization of their tragic fate. But the question remains, why do people enjoy witnessing terrible things happen to tragic heroes like Oedipus, the tragic figure in Sophocles' play Oedipus Rex? Oedipus, through no fault of his own, kills his father and marries his mother, only to discover his actions in a shocking revelation. Aristotle's answer is the concept of catharsis. Catharsis, a Greek word meaning cleansing, describes the emotional release people experience while watching tragic events unfold on stage. Through this release, people feel a purification of negative emotions like fear and pity, allowing them to better understand their own feelings and emotions. Aristotle argued that art has the power to remind us of universal truths about the human condition. Aristotle didn't limit his explorations to ethics, philosophy, and drama. He also investigated the nature of friendship. In his Nicomachean Ethics, he breaks friendship down into 3 distinct types. The first is friendship based on pleasure, where both parties seek pleasure in each other's company. The second type is friendship based on utility, where the relationship is centered on gaining some benefit from each other. But the highest form of friendship, according to Aristotle, is friendship based on virtue. A true friend, in this context, is someone who cares about the other person as much as they care about themselves. In this type of friendship, both individuals help each other become better versions of themselves. Aristotle also studied the importance of rhetoric, the art of persuasion. He noticed that winning an argument isn't always about presenting the best logic or facts, it's also about understanding and appealing to your audience's emotions and fears. Aristotle's work in rhetoric revolutionized the way people approached persuasive communication. He argued that to be persuasive, one must not only make logical appeals but also establish credibility, ethos, stir emotions, pathos, and provide solid arguments, logos. In the modern world, philosophy often seems like an abstract, theoretical discipline with little relevance to our daily lives. However, Aristotle believed that practical wisdom should be the ultimate goal of philosophy. Philosophy, for him, was meant to improve people's lives by guiding them toward moral and ethical decisions. He viewed the study of philosophy as a way to help society function more harmoniously and encourage individuals to live virtuous, fulfilling lives. Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics continues to be one of the most influential texts in Western philosophy. His ideas about ethics, virtue, happiness, and the nature of friendship continue to shape the way we think about morality today. Whether it's through his musings on the golden mean, his emphasis on the importance of habits and practice, or his deep understanding of human emotions and relationships, Aristotle's influence remains deeply ingrained in both philosophy and everyday life. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Aristotle's philosophy and how his ideas continue to influence our lives today, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thought-provoking content on philosophy and how it shapes our world.